It's been over 2 years since the RTX 4090 came out, and when it came out in October of 2022, it blew everyone's expectations away. It was up to 40% faster than the RTX 3090 while also being significantly more power efficient. And that's not even talking about ray tracing. Seriously, for anyone who has never used an RTX 4090, it is truly an impressive card and a great feat of engineering. And for $1,600, it was worth the $100 price increase over the RTX 3090. Plus, it was actually in stock at the time. Fast forward over 2 years though, and the price for a 4090 nowadays is over $2,000, approaching $2,500. And the 4090 is kind of finally starting to show some of its flaws. Games are getting much more advanced and also more demanding, thanks to a lot of the advancements in ray tracing as well as just different lighting techniques. Stuff that Nvidia has pushed, which is also why they want to innovate and release new graphics cards. There are two games that I've noticed really do show the kind of weakness of the 4090. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and Marvel Rivals. These two games are completely different, but they both cripple the 4090. Why are these games so important to me though? That is because behind me I have the LG 32-inch dual mode display. It is an OLED display that allows me to do 4K 240Hz and with a press of a button switch to 1080p 480Hz. That means if I want to play a nice single player game and get some nice graphics going, I can easily do that just by playing at 4K. But then if I want to go sweaty, try hard esports mode, I click a button, and that's when I'm playing Marvel Rivals. In 4K, Indiana Jones looks absolutely amazing. I was using the Supreme preset, and it is the best looking game I've ever played. Genuinely, the graphics are something truly impressive, but without DLSS or frame generation, I was stuck at about 20 to 30 FPS. Now, luckily, when I turn on frame generation, either the quality, which runs at 1440p, or performance, that does actually run at 1080p, it got to be pretty good with frame generation. I was getting about 60 to 70 FPS. 60 to 70 FPS is pretty much what I want to see in a single player game like this. I want to be able to kind of have good smoothness for a kind of high action game, and variable refresh rate makes it so there is no screen tearing. Hopefully the rumored DLSS 4 that's going to be announced in the next couple of weeks does improve this and make it more superior quality than native. I don't really know how you can take lower pixels and make them look better than just all of the pixels. But Nvidia has shocked me before, so we'll see. Marvel Rivals, on the other hand, is a very esports focused game, one where I'm switching it to 1080p 480Hz. And you want the highest FPS possible, which is actually more exacerbated by the fact that it was discovered that using specific characters in this game, if you do not have the highest FPS possible, you are going to be dealing less damage and also moving slower, having worse movement. Something that a competitive hero-based shooter like this, you need to have those two things if you're going to want to win games and rank up. This game does have DLSS and frame generation, but it's the same reason why if you're playing Fortnite or Call of Duty, you do not want to be using these things because of artifacts and because of issues. You don't want to be having a mess up in the technology and the algorithm cause you to think that there's a person behind a wall and it cause you to lose the game. Although when typically playing a game of Marvel Rivals, I can see about 350 to 400 FPS. It's just not enough for my 480Hz monitor. I want more. I want the highest. So these two games, single player, nice and calm, a little bit of action, esports, super high action, super high response, gotta be looking everywhere all over the screen. These two games seem nothing really alike, but they do have one thing in common: the GPU bottleneck. When playing both of these games, I was stuck at 99% GPU usage even when fully overclocking my 4090 running XOC BIOSes, stuff that really isn't recommended by Nvidia. GPU bottlenecks are the one kind of bottleneck you really do not want. When you get to above about 90% GPU usage, you are going to be noticing added input latency, which is going to be detrimental to your game. For example, if you are at 120 FPS, I would much rather be CPU bound in that scenario than GPU bound, because the CPU bound scenario will have much lower input lag. Many other YouTubers have done content on this, so I'm not going to go into my own testing on this. You can check out something like this. This is also why you see a lot of esports pros, even if they're playing like Counter-Strike or Fortnite, using RTX 4090s because they want to lower their GPU utilization as much as possible. Realistically, you don't even need something like a 4070 to play those games, which gets me to the big elephant in the room, the RTX 5090. Is it going to be worth it? I mean, it depends on who you are. If you really like those high quality games and you want the absolute newest technology that Nvidia has to offer, yeah, go ahead. Do you want to replay some of these games without any of the DLSS or frame gen like Alan Wake 2, Indiana Jones, many other previously high quality games? I mean, think about it. You can finally run Cyberpunk path tracing probably with absolutely no DLSS. Or are you a competitive gamer who just wants the absolute highest FPS in those low refresh rates and doesn't want to worry about a GPU bottleneck? I mean, it's not the argument's a little more there to just keep the GPU you have now, but if you have the money and you're an esports pro, yes, absolutely. I don't think this GPU is going to be as legendary as the 4090. To me, the 4090 is almost on 1080 Ti levels of legendary just because of how absolutely high quality this GPU has been. This is a GPU you can buy and use for the rest of the decade. But the RTX 5090 has a leaked price of anywhere between $2,000 to $2,500 with also an increased board power draw up to 575 watts. For reference, the 4090 has a base power draw of 450 watts. With the 12-pin high power connector, which is what will be used, being at only 600 watts, meaning you will probably see a lot of these GPUs with two of them, which is just kind of ugly. I mean, Galax did it on the 4090 HOF, and it's just kind of like, ugh. But it doesn't matter. I'm looking for performance, not efficiency, so that doesn't really matter to me. But let me know down below in the comment section what GPU you have now, and if you are looking forward for the RTX 50 series, if you're going to be picking one of the GPUs up. If you are, which one is it going to be? I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Join the Discord, subscribe, like the video. New Discord subs. Tier 1s get so many bonus videos now. They're getting access to the OC guide. So much stuff coming for you guys. 2025 is going crazy in PC hardware.